Hey guys, good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Welcome back to our channel. I'll be trying to put a list of 10 classic fragrances. Sometimes I like to do this thing, pay tribute and then bring back some classics. And what I mean by classics, a lot of fragrances are way before my time. So I do not I cannot say that these fragrances I went through, have seen them in my time, even though they were before 1980s, right? So to me, whatever released after 80s, these are classic to me. These are my era, and 80s, 90s throughout, but some of these older fragrances here, I have seen them either used by me or my friends or my uncle, someone, I know these fragrances as top classics, and I think they actually should be in your list to try at least once. If not, you want to collect them the full bottle, okay? And I think this fragrance, most of them are not out of style. Some people put their personal recommendation like these, I feel, are out of style, outdated. Now I think fragrances, if they are still selling, like 80s, 90s fragrances, and they're still selling in the market, there's a reason for it, right? Like people are buying it because there are still a lot of fans of this fragrance. They're loyal to the original and they gave birth to many flankers. So I'll go one by one with each. Hopefully there's no power failure and I can complete this list. So let's go and show you one by one. And these are my personal recommendation. You can do whatever you want. First fragrance I'm going to go with Dunhill Desire, and this is called Red. They never put the name Red, but this is known as Dunhill Desire Red. So basically, previously the name used to be written here, my older bottle, the Dunhill Desire. Nowadays it's just simple like this, and bottom they put this nice little metal plate, okay? And then this is like a whiskey flask or something, a very nice touch from Dunhill. This is one of the top sellers. This is one of the first fragrance I started my journey with, even though when I was like a noob, or I never knew anything about fragrance. I just loved smelling nice. This is one of my first fragrances, and I think I used it for 8 to 9 years plus. My first bottle, I just never could finish the bottle, so strong. So this one, what this is very sweet, very sweet, very say suede, like something like 1 million type, kind of like fruity, and perhaps there's amber. I don't remember all the notes, but very piercing, very long lasting, and price for this fragrance is very, very affordable. Still it sells, and there are a lot of flanker to this, but to me this one always remains a classic must try, Dunhill Desire Red. Second fragrance I want to show you is perhaps not my most favorite, but still I consider this a classic, CK1. This fragrance is a love and hate relationship for me. I sometimes get headache from it with the citrus floral combo, especially the florals can get me a headache. It's a light cologne style perfume, doesn't last a lot, but the thing is, whenever there's a warm weather, you crave for something like this, like a almost to a point of aquatic, kind of watery, and nice little citrus. I would say there's a nice little citrus going on here, really nice. It's like the DNA of this perfume is just very classic and vintage. People smell this, they recognize this, all these fragrances immediately, because they have been in the market for so long, so many people have been using them. So CK1 definitely for me. Get a small miniature or a sample. They're very affordable. 200 ml like this can cost you almost nothing, okay? So CK1 is my second one from the vintage collection. Third one I'm going to say, no, sorry, not vintage, like the older fragrance releases. Number 3, Davidoff Cool Water. If I make this list and if I leave this out, I have left few fragrances out, but I kept some of the classic ones in my humble opinion. Cool Water, I always repurchase a bottle just for nostalgic reasons. During my childhood, perhaps my school years, my college years, perhaps my elder brothers or uncles, they used this because I could not afford a perfume. When we were a kid, we used to use body sprays and stuff, but Cool Water is such a known DNA. It's like a father figure. Many of the fragrances give that vibe. Cool Water is sort of like weekend vibes. If you watch weekend movies, back in the days we didn't have that much advanced life. We used to have like a movie on TV, only one channel. We used to have those phones that you ring and dial like this. This reminds me of that classic example of a blue green fragrance. This one has a lot of green elements, but one of the classics, just nostalgic fragrance. Okay, definitely must own Davidoff Cool Water. Number 4, I did a list yesterday, and then that gave me this idea, and this fragrance gave me the idea. Lotus by Issey Miyake, Lotus Purum. And I noticed how many people said this fragrance got me started in the game, and a lot of memories. This kind of sharp use, you almost can wear all year round. And I can tell you one thing, Lotus is all that. Lotus is such a fragrance. You smell it and definitely you start imagining stuff. It's not just run in the mill fragrance. Like no matter how many these fragrances you go through, you actually always have place for this fragrance in your shelf. It's such a classic. And at first I hated it because it gave me kind of like a roach vibe. Yes, a cockroach vibe because of that. I don't know, is that perhaps the yuzu? I was not used to it, but it's a fragrance, takes time to grow on you, but it's a classic, all right. Lotus Puram by Issey Miyake. Great, massive fragrance, top seller. And all these fragrances, they have a lot of flankers. That means they were successful. So number 5, I'm going to show you another frosted glass, followed by CK1 and Lotus. Obviously, you know, Acqua Di Gio is coming up. And Acqua Di Gio is such a fragrance, another weekend fragrance for me. Mild, spicy, masculine, oceanic. There's this aquatic vibes. There's also breezy, floral. And then there's also, you can say in a way, mandarin orange. A lot of things going on, a lot of notes in this. There was a time, you know, when I started collecting, I did not have much cash. I did not have any page or anything. I dreamt of getting this fragrance. I saw so many reviewers. Every single reviewer reviewed this. And just to get the 100 ml bottle, I was like going crazy. Like, this is expensive as anything, you know. This is like $100 plus in Malaysia. And it still is one of the most expensive because this house is expensive, okay. Armani fragrances are not cheap, okay. So Acqua Di Gio, for me, is a fragrance. It's like one of those tall skyscrapers, you know, like it's always there. Somebody's like, oh, Acqua Di Gio, I used it in my school years, college years, you know, denim jeans, white t-shirt. It's such a fragrance. Acqua Di Gio definitely is a must try for me. Okay, 5 gone. Next 5, L'Oreal. Okay, this is an iconic fragrance. You guys know I have gone through different versions of it. Christmas edition, the other ones, the ultra male, L'Oreal Essence de Parfum, L'Oreal Le Parfum, Le Beau. I have a lot of L'Oreal flankers I reviewed. Okay, so L'Oreal is that powdery fragrance. You know, it's like a sexy powdery mint, lavender, a tonka, vanilla, that sort of fragrance. And this fragrance is that opening. It's such a masculine opening, and I just love how refreshing the mint is. At first I thought this is going to be like a summer perfume, like you can wear it. It's so minty, so fresh, but the dry down goes a little bit powdery, almost to the barbershop style. But this fragrance like ruled the world once. Everybody wore it. And the vintage versions, this is not vintage, these are like more newer batches, but the vintage ones used to last all day. Not the same fragrance anymore, but still L'Oreal is a classic. Okay, Jean Paul Gaultier, L'Oreal, still a classic. Number 7, I actually want to show you the metal flask version, but it's somewhere deep down in my boxes. This is Thierry Mugler Amin or Angelman. It looks such stunning bottle when it's almost full with the blue juice. If you can see blue juice, dark blue juice, it's a classic juice color. And this star, another bottle I always wanted when I started my collection. If you're a new collector, you'll always look at things and you'll be like, you have so many things in your bucket list. I want to get this, that. This was one of the fragrances I had a sample of, and I got crazy how beautifully this one develops. The specialty of this fragrance is longer it stays on your skin, it does magical things. It's like one of the most complex perfumes ever. Opening is a little bit harsh, that it has coffee, patchouli, tar kind of a note, and they have mint, chocolate, a lot of notes I cannot remember at this moment, but it's just like one of the best coffee based perfumes ever known to people, and chocolatey. So dry down is just magical, and that's why Amen is always a must have. And I have luckily older batches, so definitely try Thierry Mugler Amen or Angelman. It has a lot of flankers, some successful ones, some of them are just okay. So last 3, I want to show you one of the best classic, in my humble opinion, is Dior's Fahrenheit. If you do not have Fahrenheit, I'll tell you as a collector, you are incomplete. Big statement, but take it from me. Fahrenheit is Fahrenheit. You know, it's like there's no competition to this fragrance. No one can say I have something better than Fahrenheit, which is the same scent profile. Yeah, some of the amouage fragrances, niche, you can compare, but the popularity of this fragrance, just sheer popularity. This is a GOAT, G-O-A-T, great of all time. Okay, Fahrenheit, another example how fragrances, even today, some reviewers say if this was released today, this would be a top seller. Nothing like this. Even Dior, I don't think in their whole house they have something as creative as this one. Even Dior Homme Intense is great, but this is the best. So Fahrenheit, that violet leaves, gasoline, that note, and then the leather, florals, you know, very nice. The way it changes, it's mysterious in the air. People love it around you. Okay, trust me, Dior's Fahrenheit is a masculine perfume, definitely a must have for me. Number 2 and number 1, actually no, let me shift, because number 1 is my most favorite. Number 2 is Terre de Hermes. Okay, this is one fragrance I did not understand for 2-3 years. and I saw this is so expensive, just like that Acqua Di Gio. This is expensive, never cheap. You cannot have this for $30-40, not possible. Only thing you can get a good deal is that if you get a 200 ml, then the value is better. But the thing is, this one doesn't mean better, this means worse. Value wise, this is better if it's 200 ml. Many flankers of it, once again, just like the previous ones, but this one, the orange and then vetiver combo, and with Issey Super Beast Mode longevity, such a masculine, have to understand first kind of fragrance. Cannot be said that this is a safe perfume to buy, but still Terre is one of those epic fragrances that got so much love, so much respect, and people still wear this, swear by this, with the beautiful bottle. Even people are with huge niche collections still have it for good reasons. Terre, and this is by Hermes. Number 1, and this is my all-time favorite. This is my signature scent, one of the first fragrance I fell in love with. True love. So many bottles. I think this is the highest number of bottles that I got of this perfume. Next target is 200 ml. This is Hugo Boss Bottled. Okay, this fragrance, you know, like, I cannot tell you how lovely this smells, you know. Hugo Boss Bottled, perhaps in this whole list, is my most favorite in terms of scent profile. Simplicity of it, citrusy, apple, a little bit of cinnamon, and now so much more citrus, so much more sparkly champagne like. You can go with the EDT Intense, EDP Intense, but nothing gives you the feel of this perfume right here. This one's such a manly man perfume, you know. The ads were everywhere. If you go to a mall, if you have like Hugo Boss, you'll see always a big poster or something is always this one. You know, Hugo Boss Bottle is the top seller for a reason. Okay, number 1 today is Hugo Boss Bottle, or Boss number 6, I think, right? So these are top 10 classic fragrances in my humble opinion every man must own. Thank you very much for watching. I think I'll go upload these. Hopefully you will enjoy the video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.